Dear students, welcome. This is UNITINIA and this is our English lesson for the 7th grades. Today our topic is planets and we will speak only in English. So what are we going to learn today? We will talk about keywords for space and then we can talk about how can we compare, how can we make comparisons. We will learn about some rules about making comparisons. So let's start with keywords for space. The first phrase, the first combination of words is Milky Way. Milky Way means Samanyolu in Turkish, and Samanyolu, Milky Way, it is our galaxy. It has billions of stars within it, and our solar system is located also inside of it, and we should know that. The sun is the center of our solar system. It is the main source of power, and also it is the source of life. Without it, we cannot even think about living. It is not possible to live without it. And let's take a look at Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. It is the smallest planet in the solar system. So it is the smallest and it is the closest planet to the sun. So let's take a look at Venus. Venus is the second planet from the sun and it is the hottest planet in the solar system. It is the hottest planet despite the fact that it is the second planet from the sun because of the chemicals, because of the chemical structure of its surface. And let's speak about Earth. Earth is the third planet from the sun and Earth actually means the ground, and in English it also means soil. And this is where we live and this is the place where we call home. Mars. Mars is the fourth planet in the solar system and because of its color we also call it red planet. We don't call it blue planet, we don't call it green planet. It looks red and that's why we also call it the red planet. So let's take a look at Jupiter. Jupiter is the fifth and the largest planet in the solar system. It is a gas giant. So let's not forget that it is a gas giant because it's called like that because of the fact that it does not have any soil on the surface. It's made out of gas simply. And this is like this planet, Jupiter, is the largest planet in the solar system. And let's not forget that Jupiter is actually a word that means Tinia, like the name of our company, UNITINIA. Tinia is the main god of Etruscan mythology. So Jupiter is the main god in Roman mythology. And Jupiter also means Zeus. Zeus is the main god in Greek mythology. So Jupiter also means Tinia. This is the main god of that culture, of Etruscan culture, of Roman culture, and Greek culture. They have a main god, but they have different names. Etruscan people called it Tinia, Roman people called it Jupiter, and Greek people called it Zeus. So let's take a look at Saturn. Saturn is the second largest planet in the solar system and the sixth furthest from the sun. It is smaller than Jupiter. It has rings. So Jupiter is bigger than Saturn. And Saturn is smaller than Jupiter. Uranus. Uranus is the seventh planet from the sun and its surface is extremely cold. Right? We know that. This is also called, like this planet, Uranus is also called a gas giant, but of course it is smaller than both Jupiter and Saturn. And lastly, Neptune. Neptune is the furthest planet from the sun. And before, like in the past, the furthest planet from the sun was Pluto. But Pluto is no longer a planet according to scientists, according to astronomers. So we call Neptune as the furthest planet from the sun. And on average, it is even colder than Uranus. So let's take a look at our rules for making comparisons. Firstly, we add er and est to one-syllable adjectives to make comparatives and superlatives. Comparative, What is comparative? In comparatives, we compare two elements. And in superlatives, we also make comparisons, of course, but the number of elements is actually, like, we can say that even we can do that for two elements, but it has a meaning of the most, like bigger than anything else, or smaller than anything else, or taller than anything else. So if something is taller than anything else, it is the tallest. It is the tallest, the oldest, the longest. So let's take a look. Old, old, older, the oldest. I'm older than you. I'm the oldest student in the class. Tall, taller, the tallest. I am taller than you. I am older and also taller than you. I was the tallest student in the class when I was in school. Long, longer, the longest. The tail of my cat is longer than the tail of your cat. Right? So if an adjective ends in E, we only add R or ST. So we don't need to add ER or EST because, we also have E right now. We already have E. So there's no need to put ER or EST. So let's take a look at examples. Nice, nicer, the nicest. Large, larger, the largest. Right? So this kitchen is larger than the kitchen that I saw in the other house. This kitchen is the largest kitchen that I ever see. Right? This is superlative, and if we say larger than, it is comparative. If an adjective ends in a vowel and a consonant, we double the consonant. So imagine saying something like, this room is bigger than your room. We cannot say only a B-I-G-E-R. We need to double the consonant because it ends in a vowel and a consonant. So we say the biggest or bigger than. We double the consonant. Or we can say fat. My brother is fatter than me. Or I can say that my brother is the fattest student in his school. We double T in that case. If an adjective ends in a consonant and Y, we change Y to I and add ER or EST. So I can say that she's happier than her sister, or she's the happiest student in the class. Or we can take a look at friendly. We can say that my friend is the friendliest person. Let's say the best friend. The best friend of mine is the friendliest person that I ever met. The best is also a superlative, but we will take a look at that in a second. The friendliest is superlative. I can say that my best friend is actually friendlier than my brother, right? So silly means aptal in Turkish. This guy is sillier than his brother. This guy is the silliest person that I've ever met. Or easy. I think this question is easier than the one that we solved yesterday. This question was the easiest question that I've ever solved. So easiest is superlative, easier is comparative, easier than, the easiest. For most two-syllable adjectives and for all the adjectives that have three or more syllables, we use more and most. So we cannot say interestinger, we cannot say difficulter or dangerouser, or the interestingest, the difficultest. That does not work in English. We have to say more interesting. This, let's say this book is more interesting than the other one. Or we can say the most interesting book that I read is blah, blah, blah. So the most interesting is superlative. We use more and most because of the fact that those words are either in two syllables or three or more. We cannot generalize this rule for all the 3-syllable adjectives in English, but generally that is the case. But we can generalize this rule for all the 3 or more syllabled words. So difficult, more difficult and the most difficult. Let's take a look at difficult. We can say that this question is more difficult than the one that we solved yesterday. Again, like a similar example. We can use that, or we can say the most difficult. The most difficult topic that I've learned during the school years is blah, blah, blah. So that is the case. And the most difficult is superlative. Dangerous. We can say that bungee jumping is more dangerous than playing football, for example, right? Because it's an extreme, like adrenaline sport. So we can say that bungee jumping is more dangerous than playing football. Or we can even say that, for example, skydiving is the most dangerous sport that I've ever done. And we done it. We actually skydived, and we can say that the most dangerous sport that I've ever done was skydiving. Also, of course, we are learning English, and as always, we have some irregular forms. For example, if you want to say that something is, let's say something is nicer than the other thing, we cannot say that it is gooder. We have to say that it is better. Or if this is the nicest thing that we see, we should say the best. We cannot say that goodest, right? We have to say the best. Bad, the opposite word for good. We cannot say that better. We cannot say the baddest, We have to say worse and the worst. The worst is the superlative form. Worse is the comparative form. Far, farther, further. We can use either of them, like A or U, doesn't matter. And for superlative, we should say the farthest, the furthest. The pronunciation is different. So pay attention. If you want to say with A, you have to say farther or the farthest. But if you want to say with U, you have to say further, the furthest. Let's remember what we said for Neptune. We said that Neptune Neptune is the furthest planet from the sun. So it is the furthest. It is superlative. It is further than sun in comparison with any other planets, right? It is the furthest. So we have some examples here. Let's take a look at them. I'm taller than my brother, right? So my brother is shorter than me. I am the tallest student in the class. This is superlative. I'm the tallest, like no one is taller than me in my class. I am the tallest one. I think this question is more difficult than the other one. Or I think this is the most difficult question, the most difficult one. This room is bigger than mine. So pay attention, we double the consonant. Bigger. We cannot say that, we cannot use only B-I-G-E-R. We have to double the consonant because it ends with a vowel and a consonant. This room is bigger than mine. Or this is the biggest room I ever see. I'm happier today. So in that example, we don't need to add than because there isn't, we cannot see the second element in comparison. We can also say, for example, I'm happier today than yesterday. But since we do not have yesterday in the sentence, we don't need to put, we don't need and we should not put then, the word then in this sentence. So only we should say, I'm happier today. That's it. If you want to add yesterday, or we can say last week, I'm happier today than last week. Then in this case, we should add then. She was the happiest kid in the competition. She was the happiest kid. No one was happier than her, right? Yesterday I was sick. I'm better today. So again, in this example, we actually have two sentences. Yesterday I was sick. So we already know the second element in comparison. and we say I'm better today. We could also say I'm better today than yesterday, but there's no need to do that because we already know yesterday. Yesterday I was sick, I'm better today. This is the best video game in PlayStation 5. So no other game is better than this one. This is the best video game in PlayStation 5. Right. I don't know if you play PlayStation or Xbox or if you have consoles, but this guy says that this is the best video game. Which video game? I don't know. Which one of your children is more intelligent? The youngest one. The youngest one is the most intelligent. So we have two superlatives here. The youngest one and the most intelligent. Why did we use the most or why did we use more? Because intelligent is a long word, right? So today, dear students, we finished our class. What did we learn? We learned about keywords, about space, and also we learned how can we make comparisons. So this is Unitinia, and stay with us. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on notifications, and always keep wondering, keep learning, keep searching, and develop yourself. Develop your character and improve your level of knowledge. See you in the next class. See you in the next video. Take care.